At the beginning of the 1990s, Nintendo showed the world what 16 bits meant with the Super Nintendo. It is referred as one of the best systems of all time. However, Nintendo had to release a new console to push the limits once again. In late spring of 1994, Nintendo showed people its newest baby, the Ultra 64. We would have to wait until November of 1995 to have a full unveiled at the 7th annual Shoshinkai Software Exhibition in Japan. It was then introduced as the Nintendo 64. Finally, almost 1 year later, in September of 1996, the Nintendo 64 was released for everyone to enjoy. As opposed to the Super Nintendo, there wasn't a Mario game package in, but there was one title that everyone wanted to try, one title that would change gaming forever, the next installment in the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. Super Mario 64 is a platformer game released in 1996, developed by Nintendo for their newest system, the Nintendo 64. It's one of the earliest 3D platform games and gives players the ability to fully control Mario in any direction using the newest N64 analog stick. Because while it may seem standard nowadays, analog sticks were a huge thing back when the Nintendo 64 was released. The game was very revolutionary, as it established many standards for 3D games to follow. One of the biggest innovations introduced in Super Mario 64 was the use of a dynamic camera system. The camera in Super Mario 64 adapts to what the player is doing. Instead of staying behind Mario, the camera rotates and adapts to the moves Mario does in order to help the player visualize where he needs to go. Super Mario 64 also had a free camera system that would let the player control the camera independently of Mario using the C buttons. In terms of plot, Super Mario 64 is set in Princess Peach's castle as she invites Mario over because she baked him a cake. That's so nice. However, once Mario reaches the castle, he quickly realizes that Bowser has invaded it and captured the princess once again. He stole the power of the Power Stars and scattered his minions throughout the castle. Now Mario has to jump in paintings found in many rooms in the castle to access different levels, 15 different levels to be exact. Mario must gather the Power Stars in order to open more rooms inside the castle and eventually face off Bowser on 3 different occasions. Instead of having worlds and stages like the previous titles in the Mario franchise, Super Mario 64 has 15 stages, each containing 6 stars to collect. Each star slightly changes the design of the stage and gives you a different objective. For example, in Bob-omb Battlefield, which is the first stage, the first star requires you to defeat Bob-omb King on top of the mountain. If you take the second star, however, the Bob-omb King will not be there anymore as he is not part of that episode. Every time you collect a star, it gets added to your total amount, and getting more stars allows you to open more doors in the castle. Opening more doors gives you access to Bowser's lairs, and defeating Bowser's in every lair gives you a big key to open a brand new section of the castle. Speaking of that castle, it consists of 3 different floors, a basement, a moat, and a courtyard. Super Mario 64 is one of the first games in the series to feature Charles Martinet as the voice of Mario.
It's me, Mario!
The game features 36 musical pieces and was composed by Koji Kondo. Super Mario 64 was commercially successful and is the best-selling Nintendo 64 game of all time. It's also the second most popular title on the Wii's Virtual Console, just behind the original Super Mario Bros. It has been acclaimed by press and has collected numerous awards and Games of the Year honors. The game eventually got a remake for the Nintendo DS called Super Mario 64 DS and featured Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario as additional playable characters. In 1997, at the Electronic Entertainment Expo, Shigeru Miyamoto mentioned that he was getting started on a direct sequel named Super Mario 64 2. This title was developed for the 64DD, an add-on for the Nintendo 64, but was finally cancelled due to the failure of the 64DD as well as a lack of progress in the game's development. Gamers would have to wait until the next Nintendo console to be able to play another fully fledged 3D Mario game. The sequel to Super Mario 64 was first shown at the Nintendo Space World of 2001 in a short teaser introducing a brand new world and showing Mario with a weird thing strapped on his back. At the time, it wasn't very clear what the game was all about. Super Mario Sunshine takes place after Super Mario 64. It first starts in a plane where Mario and the princess are going on a well-deserved vacation on Isle Delfino. However, as they arrive there, the entire island has been vandalized and is covered in some paint-looking goo. Mario discovers Flood, a water cannon that he straps on his back, and that cannon will help him clean the island. Cause it turns out the baddie spreading the graffitis around is disguised as Mario. So then Mario is arrested and put on trial, and he is judged guilty. What a bad way to start your vacation. He must now clean the island and recover the Shine Sprites, which is the island's source of power, in order to clean his name. Cause it's a game about cleaning stuff, and he wants to clean his name. Okay, whatever. Eventually, the princess gets captured by Shadow Mario, and it is revealed that Shadow Mario is in fact Bowser Jr. It's now Mario's job to recover enough Shine Sprites to enter Corona Mountain to defeat Bowser and Bowser Jr. Super Mario Sunshine keeps the open 3D environment first introduced in Super Mario 64, and the basic concept is pretty much the same. You enter graffitis and get transported to different worlds acting as levels. Each level is separated into different episodes with a clear objective to accomplish in each episode. It is very similar to Super Mario 64 in that sense. Every time you complete the objective, you are rewarded with a Shine Sprite. There are 120 Shine Sprites to collect to fully complete the game. However, you only need to complete episode 7 of each world to unlock the final level, which is Corona Mountain. As mentioned before, the game has a big emphasis on water and cleaning graffiti. This is where Flood comes into play. You can use Flood to spray water to defeat enemies and clean the island. You can also use Flood to hover in the air for a short amount of times. You eventually unlock some other nozzle ends for Flood to use. The rocket nozzle rockets you up in the air, and the turbo nozzle allows you to run extremely fast on land or in water. Yoshi also makes an appearance in the game. You can unlock Yoshi by feeding him with the fruit of his choice, and once you hop on Yoshi, you have a limited amount of time before he vanishes, if you don't feed him enough fruits, that is. Yoshi can flutter jump and can eat enemies. He can also spray juice out of his mouth, which acts a lot like Flood. Super Mario Sunshine was well received in general and sold 5.5 million copies, but it was also criticized. GameSpot criticized the addition of Flood and Yoshi, calling them gimmicky. The camera system was also criticized, and some people noted that the game looked unpolished and somewhat rushed out. Once again, there wouldn't be a new 3D Mario game before the next Nintendo console. However, the next game in the Super Mario series would, once again, create a breath of fresh air to a series that needs it. The next console from Nintendo was unveiled in 2005 and was codenamed Nintendo Revolution. Due to some problems, only the console was unveiled and not the new controller. We had to wait until the Tokyo Game Show to be introduced to the world of Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii's new revolutionary controller first introduced the world to motion gaming. It was during the Wii trailer at E3 2006 that the next installment in the Mario franchise would be revealed. Super Mario Galaxy was released in November of 2007 for the Nintendo Wii. It dropped the FLUDD idea and all that cleaning stuff altogether to get back to a more traditional idea of having Mario do some Mario stuff, you know, like jumping. Super Mario Galaxy starts off near Peach's castle, where everything gets attacked by Bowser and the princess gets kidnapped once again. Bowser captures the entire castle and lifts it into outer space. Mario then tries to rescue her but fails miserably and is sent across the cosmos. He awakens on a little planet and meets a character named Rosalina. She is the Watcher of the Stars, who uses the Comet Observatory to travel across the universe. Unfortunately for her, and for Mario, Bowser stole all of the power stars, so the observatory cannot move no more. Mario now sets off in a quest to find all the power stars and rescue Princess Peach. Super Mario Galaxy is set in outer space, where Mario must travel from galaxies to collect the stars. Each galaxy contains a few planets where Mario can travel to. Each planet contains a few stars to collect, and once again you have to pick a star to collect, and the stage will be slightly modified according to the star you are after. The novelty in Super Mario Galaxy is the brand new physics system. Instead of having one big environment, each celestial object has its own gravitational force, which gives Mario the ability to completely navigate around a rounded planet. What that means is that you will be able to walk sideways or upside down as long as you are on a celestial object. The game and environment are in 3D, but there are a lot of smaller segments where Mario travels in the side-scrolling 2D environment. Mario is controlled via the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. Most abilities from Super Mario 64 make their return, but Mario is given new moves that take advantage of the Wii Remote's motion sensing and pointing abilities. By pointing the Wiimote at the screen, you control a cursor which gives you the ability to collect star bits. Those star bits can be used to defeat enemies or to feed some star characters named Lumas. The star pointer is also used in some other sections where Mario is stuck inside a bubble and the pointer acts as a wine blower to control him. Some sections also request you to use the pointer to pull objects in order to shoot Mario in the opposite direction. The second new ability is the spin attack, which is executed at any time by shaking the Wii Remote. This spin attack can be used to attack enemies but also acts as a mid-air jump. There are also a lot of power-ups that Mario can obtain, such as the Beam Mario suit, the Boom Mario suit, and the Spring Mario suit. The Fire Flower makes its triumphant return, and the Ice Flower is also added to Mario's arsenal. The Rainbow Star, which gives Mario the ability to go invincible for 30 seconds, is also back. And there's also a Red Star, which gives Mario the ability to fly up in the air for 1 minute. Super Mario Galaxy was a commercial success, selling more than 10 million copies. It's the third best-selling Wii game and the 7th best-selling Nintendo game ever. Super Mario Galaxy is the highest rated game on Game Rankings and the third highest game of all time on Metacritic. At the end of 2007, Super Mario Galaxy was named Game of the Year by IGN, GameSpot, Game Trailers, Edge, and Nintendo Power magazine. The game was named Game of the Decade by the official Nintendo magazine and also Nintendo Power. At E3 2009, during the Nintendo's press conference, it was announced that another full 3D Mario game would hit the shelves for the Wii. The game would be a direct sequel to Mario Galaxy and would release in 2010. On May of 2010, the Wii received Super Mario Galaxy 2, the first ever direct sequel to a 3D Mario game. The story begins with Bowser capturing Princess Peach and stealing all of the power stars. Mario will then travel across several galaxies in order to travel to the center of the universe and rescue the princess. The gameplay of Super Mario Galaxy 2 is pretty much the same as Mario Galaxy 1, however, several new power-ups were added. The Spin Drill, which gives Mario the ability to drill inside planets to emerge out of the other side. The Rock Mario suit turns Mario into a boulder and allows him to smash enemies and other boulders. Finally, there is also the Cloud Mario suit, which gives Mario the ability to create cloud platforms in midair. Joining Mario is Yoshi, the green dinosaur, who's available in certain levels. Once again, you can use Yoshi's tongue to eat your enemies or to eat several fruits, which will give Yoshi new abilities. The Dash Pepper burns Yoshi's mouth and makes him run so fast he can climb on walls or even run on water. The Blimp Fruit allows Yoshi to float in the air, and the Bulb Berry allows Yoshi to reveal some secret paths. The Comet Observatory from Mario Galaxy has been instead replaced with Starship Mario, which is a starship shaped like Mario's head, because it makes sense. Instead of going through several zones on that starship, the game went back to a more traditional level-based map selection screen. However, each galaxy contains several stars to collect as usual. Super Mario Galaxy 2, just like its predecessor, was very well received by gamers and critics. It has an average of 97 out of 10 on Metacritic, and it received several Game of the Year awards in 2010 and is still regarded as one of the best games of all time. While all those great games were released on home consoles, a bunch of Mario titles were created for Nintendo's various handhelds. Join me next time as we'll take a look at all the handheld Mario games.